In your personal life now, are you so concerned with finding a partner?
No.
Yeah.
No, I have moments where I'm like I'd like to find a partner, but I'm also not stressing the timing. I don't know. I feel like stuff like that, whether it happens for me or whether it doesn't, like I'm okay. I like told myself a long time ago, I was like, in this lifetime, I would trade success for love.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And so if that's what I get out of this lifetime, like I'm okay with it. But
In the past week, Liv Morgan has showed up at the Bradley Martin podcast, and she talked about her wrestling career, her status now in life, whether it's personal life, her views on relationships, and so forth. But some of the biggest things that online has been going crazy for and reacting to is her thoughts on relationships and her life with God, which unfortunately for some, it means those thirsty fans out there looking for a chance with Liv Morgan are gonna have to try a little harder. Let's take a look.
get closer to that.
Yeah. In your personal life now, are you so concerned with finding a partner?
No.
Yeah.
No, I have moments where I'm like I'd like to find a partner, but I'm also not stressing the timing of it. Do you know? I
Yeah.
feel like I'm so like immersed in my job right now, and I feel like my job in and of itself is like hard for people to wrap their heads around with the scheduling and all that it entails, the travel. But I feel like if the right person comes along, like I'm definitely open, but I'm not like actively like looking either.
Do
You
people
know?
act?
So, a recap for those that haven't been following Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is currently in a storyline where she is part of the Judgment Day, a big faction that involves son of Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Roxanne Perez, Finn Balor, Raquel Rodriguez, and Big Head JD McDonough, who's an amazing wrestler, by the way, even though apparently Irish people have big heads, I've been told this past week. My wife knows a lot of info that I'm curious about. But anyway, although throughout the years, the storyline's been that Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are a relationship couple, they're in a dating relationship, it's been obviously storyline for those that need to know. If you don't know, I'm telling you now, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are just storyline couple. It's make-believe, guys. Because Dom is currently married, and I think he's very happily married too. So, but in terms of Liv Morgan, she's been in the past having relationships, some with wrestlers within the WWE circles, also with people outside of WWE, non-wrestlers. But it seems that it's, as you can see, it's never worked out for her because it is tough for a wrestler to sustain a relationship because they are always traveling. They always have a schedule to keep, especially if you're in big promotions like AEW, WWE, and TNA, which you have weekly shows to do. You have to travel. If you're a top star, you also have events to do speaking engagements or go to TV and talk about future events like this weekend with Elimination Chamber. If you're a champion, it's even more work for you. And if people like you enough and they want you to be working outside of WWE, aka movie deals, your schedule has even blown up even more. This is the main reason why John Cena had eventually retired. Besides the fact that he got old, he's getting too busy. He can't promise a WWE schedule. So with that and him aging and all that, he decided to move away. The same thing with Batista. The same thing with The Rock. Happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to Liv Morgan in the future if her acting chops are great and she moves forward with it. But because of that, it seems like some men out there do not understand that, even though if you're a wrestling fan, you should understand that, and they think it won't work out with them. Now, I'm pretty sure, like, if you are truthful to her and you're loyal to her, she will give it back to you. But I guess some men are insecure out there, and that's why some relationships don't work. But hey, for those out there that wish to try hard, you can have an opportunity with her. But you gotta understand her. It seems her career is numero uno for her, and rightfully so, because she wants to make her own bucks. Why not? Anyway, let's go back.
But I don't know. I feel like stuff like that, whether it happens for me or whether it doesn't, like I'm okay. I like told myself a long time ago, I was like, in this lifetime, I would trade success for love.
There you go.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And so if that's what I get out of this lifetime, like, I'm okay with it. But if it happens, totally open to it. Like, I'd love to have little me's running around.
Yeah.
But I believe if that's what is meant for me, like, that's what I'll have. I'm not going to actively, especially right now, actively pursue anything. But if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, like, I'm okay knowing, like, in this lifetime, I did out what the I set out to do.
Yeah.
And that was change my family's life. And so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And I could, like, settle on that.
So she is also new. Shout out to her because she, although I'm not from there, I'm a New Yorker. She's in New Jersey. She was born in Jersey. I forgot where exactly in Jersey. And her family had a not great living suiting condition when she spoke about it in prior interviews or even in stories. She lived in a home. Her mom was making ends meet and all that. They lived in a trailer park community and all that. So one of her biggest priorities always been try to get her family to a better condition, which, hey guys, she is one of the top female in WWE right now besides the original 4 horsewomen. She's part of the next generation after the 4 horsewomen of WWE. So she has definitely done better for her mom, her relatives, and so forth. So that's her priority. And if you're not following, gents that are still watching, hoping for a chance with Liv Morgan, if you are part of that agenda to help your family and focus on making better the family, yeah, maybe Liv Morgan's for you. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, success in a lot of ways is like a different form of love.
Yeah. And I feel like
Yeah.
I get like, you know, love from millions of people around the world. My family, my friends. I'm not necessarily like missing love from like a significant other. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel very loved.
Yeah. But it's something you if it happens, you'd be open to.
Yeah. But also
you want kids and stuff like that.
Yeah. But if not, like I'm okay, like I said. Like I knew what I'd choose. And if I get to redo this life, like I'm gonna choose it again.
Yeah. So you did the right thing then.
I'm gonna choose it again. Yeah.
So with WWE and like the success you had, what other opportunities does that create for you outside of wrestling?
I think like whatever I want, really. You know, for me personally, like I'm interested in like more forms of entertainment. I love to do television. I love to do some more films. And so I think that definitely opens a door to that world. But I think the success that WWE gives you opens the possibilities to whatever you want that to be. I think you
wrote in that journal you wanted to do some acting.
Yeah. I've done some acting, yeah.
Now, what she means about acting, she was out late last year in 2025 to do filming for another movie in Tokyo. Now, the movie was called, is set to make a major film debut in a gritty crime thriller called Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. And it's slated for release in 2026, where she plays a politician daughter. And it's directed by Takashi Miike. The film stars Lily James and Sean Oguri, with production in Japan taking place in May 2025 when she was out. She also previously appeared in the 2023 film The Kill Room, which I don't recall. I never watched it. She also has made television appearances in the past. She's made an appearance in 2022 on an episode of Chucky TV show on the USA Network. She appeared on that. She appeared in Bianca's and Montez Ford's TV show Love in WWE in 2024, where she appears in two episodes, but it's more of a documentary, so it's her playing her. She was in Celebrity Family Feud back in 2023, competing as part of the WWE group. But now she's going to do Bad Lieutenant in 2026, and she's playing a central role. So hopefully for her, it works out for her, and she can do more movies going forward. But yeah, her focus is on her career, which makes sense. I mean, it's really hard being a WWE superstar, because if you don't grind, you get forgotten, and when you get forgotten, your pink papers show up a year later usually.
Want to do more?
Yeah. I love being a character. I love tapping into someone else and seeing what I could bring to it authentically. You know, I just love creating and I love exploring and I love just seeing what I surprise myself a lot, you know? And so I feel like I'm constantly just like, damn bitch, like, you know, in good and bad ways. Like I surprise myself a lot. And so I just want to keep on giving myself the opportunity to surprise myself and just to see how good I can be or how terrible I can be. You know, I just want to give myself.
She was okay on Chucky. I don't know if Rudy's still here. He watched that show probably more religious than I did. I'm sure she was good for the one episode she was in.
The opportunity to try.
Yeah. What are the bad ways you surprise yourself in?
Not it's not bad, but I'm such like a savage in a way.
What?
I could tell.
I'm such a savage in a way. I really don't
Hello?
be caring.
What?
And not in a, it's weird. I don't know. I feel like you could take everything from me and like throw me on the street and I'll be like, I'll figure it out. Like, I'll be okay. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just,
The fuck was that? Yeah, she was. All right, Rudy. Yeah. So Rudy confirmed she was good on Chucky, but what does she do with that?
I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know how to verbalize what I'm trying to say, but I feel like you pick up the energy
No, I get it. I get it.
that I'm putting down. I just feel like I'm like a savage low-key at the end of the day. And so that surprises me when it pops out.
So if you were thrown to the curb, which you never would be at this point, if you had to start completely over, how would you do it?
I don't know. But so what I'm saying is like,
Well, I can tell her she should drop when she started, she had pink hair. Drop that. She was part of the Riott Squad. The Riott Squad was okay, but she in the Riott Squad was the background character of the three girls. She was the quiet one. They made her. It made it to me, and people can disagree in the chat if they want. They made her feel like she was the dumb one. Like they made Ruby Riott the leader and the smart one. Then they had the other girl, who now retired and she is a farmer now as of this week. I forgot her name. And then she was like the dumb girl. She was like the Harley Quinn dumb girl. And they made her like an object and all this. And yeah, she's using that to her advantage now, but she's still good in the mic. She's still good in the ring. And she's a fucking amazing heel. But anyway, relatable. Throw me in the street and I'll figure it out. All
if
right.
I did get kicked to the curb and I had to start completely over, I think I'd be okay with just like existing, just doing nothing,
With minimal.
minimal.
Yeah.
Like, would I even want to start over? You know, like I might just like rock out.
I mean, she's a New Jersey trailer girl. I mean, I don't know how lower can you get than that. Not trying to diss her, by the way. Don't think I'm dissing her. But she came from the lower. She came from low circumstances, and she is now on the fucking tippity top of one of the biggest promotions of wrestling in the world. Yeah, if she was able to figure that out
On the street and just be like, well, we had a good run.
Sound like me, dude.
We
I
had
just
a
got
good run.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm blessed and like I love everything that I have. I love the life that I was able to like make for myself. But also I know like I have that savagery in me. If it was all taken from me, like
Yeah.
we're gonna keep on chucking along. And what that looks like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's fair.
But like I don't
she'll make it work. August Virgo is saying Liv Morgan was such a star in Riott Squad. No, she wasn't. No. Sarah Logan, thank you, Big Rudy. Sarah Logan was the powerhouse. She was the muscle. If we want to compare the Riott Squad to the Shield, Roman Reigns was Sarah Logan was Roman Reigns. I'm gonna say Dean Ambrose was Ruby Riott. And then Liv Morgan is Seth Rollins. Now, everyone's going to say, well, Seth Rollins was the architect, but Seth Rollins in the Shield originally was the quiet one compared to all three. He barely did well, Roman was the quiet one too, but Roman spoke with his muscles, attitude. And Dean was mostly the talker in the Shield originally, and that was Ruby. But Liv stay quiet. She did her thing. She did whatever. And when they broke up, she had to sink or swim. They were trying to push her. They tried to push Ruby on their own. They forgot about Sarah Logan. They forgot her so much that they just put her with her husband in the War Raiders, and that didn't work out. So now she's, you know, doing something else in life. Good for her. But anyway,
Need anything, you know? Like I don't need anything.
You like in the sense of like material stuff and
Anything.
damn, you're just
Like-
a savage.
Humans, possessions. Like I can be okay with just like me at the end of the day. And if that's like the cards that were given to me, this could all be bull. In my mind, this is how I feel. But in reality, if it happened, I don't know if I feel the same way. But in
she'll
my mind,
feel the
like,
same way. I think she would.
I don't know.
You think you've always felt that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
of
think-
her
I
upbringing.
I think that's like the little girl in me that thought like I was potentially going to grow up and make nothing out of my life. And so I became okay with like,
See, August Virgo saying maybe for the girls, but Liv stood out. Ruby was cool and Sarah was kind of gross. Sarah was not gross. It's just when she started hanging out with War Raider, she started wrestling barefoot. That was the gross part. Barefoot in the ring. You don't know if people leave nails from setting up the ring. That shit happens, man. And Liv Morgan had a good shoe game and her outfits were very street style. Yes, it was in an era, but when she started, that was an era when WWE still was frowning upon people with shoes or sneakers. Now they allow anyone to wear sneakers. So she might have started that game, but it was still a little bit frowned upon back then.
the idea of nothing. And so now that that wasn't the case, I'm still okay with the idea of like nothingness, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's also interesting. It's probably why you have what you have. Because you were okay with it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like you didn't. Because I think a lot of people hold on to like the idea it has to be this way. My life has to look like this. And they get stuck like just in that energy of I need this instead of allowing themselves to actually go and get it. They get stuck at that point of I need this and I don't have it. I
Yeah.
need this and I don't have it. And they go in those cycles.
But it's like, you know, humans are just so funny. And I think it's just like really like what you're exposed to, what you're around, your upbringing. Like, I don't know. It's like it's different for everyone, you know? I
Yeah.
just grew up like a savage. So I'm like low key a savage, even though my life now is not representative of that. But I know like I have that in me. But like,
Her upbringing will allow her to be able to do that. Now, many people have the privilege to be able to say that they had that upbringing, and now that they're successful, if it's all gone, maybe they can't. But I feel she
you
might.
know, maybe John, who grew up with a happy family, very privileged, you know, maybe they can't tap into the same degree.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, everyone's just
Ooh.
different.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
definitely could live super minimal.
Yeah.
Like
I think I could live like on the street.
that's insane.
All right, no, she
I could live in a
can't.
van. I could live in a
That-
van.
I don't know
think I could live
about
off
the
the street
street.
and like
Like in like a hut, like a little tent.
I feel like I could have a cardboard and like eat out the garbage.
No.
if it
No, she's talking. No, that's
The fuck is wrong with you? That is some dark shit.
that's weird. No.
came down to it.
No.
I do. I think if it came
She
down
won't.
to it, if that's like
Not
the
if there
life,
was eggs in there.
no, I'll be hungry. I'm not gonna eat the eggs. But also, that's like my idea of me, and that's like what I believe. But like, is that really true? I don't know. But that's like what I believe.
So you just you have the ability to just like I can do anything. It sounds like. Did you believe that?
I don't know that I could, but I believe if I like tried hard enough, I could maybe do anything. But I just mean if like everything got taken from me, I think I'd like thug it out and I'd like pull through and just be like, fuck, okay.
What if you found out the Earth was flat?
All right, so that was her in love, relationship, and success. Now she's gonna talk about her faith, which is another big thing that came out of this interview. She's gonna talk about spiritual awakening, trusting God, and the pressure
You think the Earth's flat?
of performing.
I don't know what I think the earth is. I think it's round.
So it was a trolling question.
No, I think it's round. If I don't know if it's flat.
Lady Arrows saying Liv Morgan absolutely can. She grew up poverty, working class. She used to talk about it on Total Divas. Yeah, but live in a cardboard? You think she can cardboard, eat out of trash? She's really saying that? I don't know, man. I get living with limited, live well within your means kind of situation, but I don't know, not cardboard level.
Are you religious?
You know, I've been on a journey.
Really?
Yeah.
Like lately?
Yeah. like the last 5 or so months.
Which religion?
I think I might have found God.
So Christianity or like
Yeah.
I started reading the Bible.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really? How's that for you?
It's interesting because it's sort of just like a collection of almost not everyone's experiences. Obviously, it's about God and all the different.
But like
people.
how everyone describes their experience, there's like so many similarities.
Yes,
Yeah.
like how we all go through, whether it's like betrayal or like winning or all those different sort of emotions. It sort of encompasses all of that.
Yeah.
And how to deal with that.
Yeah.
So it is. I'm really enjoying it, but
That's good. Yeah,
It's a
I
lot.
bet it's a lot.
so what brought you closer to that?
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but I just felt like a calling. There was just scenarios that had happened that were like felt like coincidence.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I just felt like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to like dive into or try to start a relationship with God or approach a relationship with God. I didn't grow up very religious. I've been to church a couple times. Didn't really feel like it resonated with me.
Yeah, I get that.
Went my whole adult life, not believing in God, but not actively, openly believing in God. Like, it's like weird.
You can believe in God or another higher entity, depending on what your religion is. That doesn't mean you have to go to church every day or you have to practice it the way they taught us. Everyone has their own way of practicing religion. So
Like before I wrestle, I would do the sign of the cross every single time without fail. But in the same token of doing that, at the same time, like I'd question like if God was real.
Yeah.
But still, every day before I wrestle, I'm doing the sign of the cross, but still would question if God was real. And so that's kind of been like my whole life really, until a couple months ago, just coincidences here and there that just like kind of like made me feel obliged to like try to tap in a little bit. And so I've just been on my own little journey.
for her.
But I believe, and it makes me like cry. It brings like tears to my eyes because like I can feel like the unconditional love. Do you know what I mean? And that like breaks me because I can feel that. And so
True religion like a seatbelt.
I'm not reading the Bible, but I do have like this daily devotional that I read every day that I started on the new year.
Henry going crazy. True religion like seatbelt. Treat religion.
That I really enjoy, and it starts my day
Oh,
off.
treat religion like a seatbelt. I'm like, what? Okay. Treat religion like a seatbelt, Henry is saying. Lots of respect for Liv, August Virgo's saying, and her spiritual journey. It's important to believe in something or else you will fall for anything. That's true. Rather than have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. There you go.
Like in a good headspace, and so I'm not like, I don't know where I am in the scale of religious and religion, but I'm definitely on my own journey that I'm like appreciating, and I'm happy with.
Yeah. I relate to the thing because when it comes to, I'm not a big fan of organized religion and going to church. I just that never resonated with me either because it always.
Never was either. We can better ourselves in other ways. You can follow the religion, but then you can do stuff to help yourself. And I think that's important as well. Otherwise, all you have is faith. But sometimes you gotta do more than that.
It just felt like, I don't know, it felt forced.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And also, like, I feel like some churches don't represent like God in the way that I see him. Like I see him as like ever loving and forgiving and unconditional.
There
And
you
then like
go.
drive by a church, it's like God died for your sins. He's mad that you're not in church right now. You know what I mean? It's like, well, God's not mad at me. Like it's God,
Yeah.
Like I see him as just like this like unconditional.
Well, that's because they're like, come over here and give us money.
Yeah, and so I feel like that also maybe plagued me a little bit growing up.
That did to
is
me.
just how it was represented. But now, being an adult and being able to like kind of like nourish my own relationship
You go to church, they ask, you give them money, and they're like,
Yeah.
with him in my own way has been cool.
Have you noticed that has helped you at all?
Yeah.
if you don't give them money, they ask you to.
Give me what I want.
You got to keep the church up to nice status, man. What do you mean? You got to donate. You don't donate, you're not a believer. What's wrong with you? Give me those $10. No. Actually, give me that 20 in your wallet that I see from here.
Yeah. Just
what-
like more of just like an overall trusting and like a relief.
I'm still gonna be hated after this.
Maybe not as scared or nervous because I feel like he's like got my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, kind of take the load off of any anxieties or pressures. I still
There you
feel
go.
anxieties and pressures, but I'm also like able to like center myself and kind of like breathe them off and just know that like God's got me and
Yeah.
like I'm okay.
When do you feel most
That's a good way to have that belief. That's actually nice.
anxious?
Anything pertaining to like wrestling.
Nothing else.
No, that's probably like my biggest like anxieties is like
Like,
performance anxiety.
I mean, performing for main events, even on a Raw show in front of thousands, yeah, of course you're gonna have freaking anxiety. Of course. Shoot. When I had my interview a few weeks ago, with Zoe Cannon. She said the same thing. Like, it's crazy. And she wrestled in a gym arena her first match. I can only imagine. Damn. WrestleMania, 40,000 people a night.
Heidi, and just like making
Henry's saying churches will close the doors until you donate.
sure
Even
that
after doing it for so many years.
yeah, that's how much I love it. I still care. Yeah, no, it doesn't go away. I'm like dry heaving in garbage cans, you know.
Before the show?
They want you to.
Acknowledge. What?
Mhm.
No.
Mhm.
Like you're just, is the idea that you might fuck up or like
I think it's a lot. I think it's adrenaline. I think it's nerves,
maybe it was the beans?
excitement, the beans, just the combo of all of it, just giving me such an overwhelming body feeling so many things at once. But I'm about to go on live TV in 30 seconds, so I have to like cut that out right now. You know, just like all of that. It's like, it's a lot. It's just a lot of feelings mixed and wrapped into like one.
I mean, I can only imagine for her. I get anxiety when I go to these wrestling events and they have the Titantron, like Fanatics Fest, and I go outside the arena or outside, and there's anxiety there. I did a wrestling match at Brooklyn Comic Con, got anxiety there. Shoot, my stuff is peanuts. Yeah, compared to her, shoot, she better have God behind you, helping you out.
But I feel like the last couple of weeks, since I've been back, really, I came back November 29th. I feel like I've had like a better
Oh,
day.
yeah, she came back
I think
Survivor
because
Series.
of God.
I was gonna say.
I think I think because of God, and so it's just, I don't know. I've just been on my own journey, and it's kind of the first time I'm talking about it, so I don't even really know how to like verbalize these things.
It's a first. But yeah, Liv Morgan went from a small town Jersey girl to one of the most prominent and main eventers in the women's division, even the whole roster in WWE. And now slowly transitioning to a movie star, gaining big main event matches. She is definitely getting one at WrestleMania 42 this year against Stephanie Vaquer. She won the Royal Rumble a few weeks ago. She's on the highest time of her life, and it only gets upward there. So let me know in the comments what you think. Are you guys, the Gooners out there, wanting Liv Morgan's love? Will you work in her parameters to make her accept you as her next counterpart in life? Or would you go through the God path with her? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.